If you hate small talk, then this channeling is for you. This particular one goes into how to have fun, enjoyable, meaningful conversations with strangers while also recognizing when that conversation has run its time or when you don't feel aligned with the other person that you're talking and you want to stop that conversation there. How do we do this? Practically through some practical tips, but also by maintaining your energy that is open to conversation, but not open to discussing topics when they feel too intense for you or it feels like the discussion isn't going anywhere. Are you ready for this? Then let's get started. So one day earlier this year, I was going to a party and there were going to be about 200 people there at any given time, and people come and go. So overall, maybe like 300, 400 total people attended. So most of the people you meet there at that party are strangers to you. And that day, I just did not have the energy for small talk. So I asked the question to my oversoul, hey, I'm excited for the party. I'm looking forward to it. I'm craving high quality in-person connections. So guide me on how I can develop those and enjoy this party while being surrounded by the strangers at this party. Here you go. First of all, share with people what you are excited about doing. Those who find joy, excitement, interest in it will automatically gravitate towards it. When you express your joy, you become magnetic to those who share in that joy. They will come to you and join in. Those who don't will be repelled away. Secondly, you have gotten into a habit of mentioning controversial topics such as systemic issues out of rebellion. And I think the quote unquote around controversial is obviously when we do it in the right spirit, these topics don't need to be controversial. They are not controversial. We need to talk about them. But when we don't do it with the right energy, those topics can turn into this agitation for people who are not on the same page, or they are not in the same journey, or just don't want to have that kind of a conversation there and they feel too uncomfortable with it. That's why the controversial came into quotations, right? Just wanted to put that note out there that these topics by nature are not controversial, is the energy. And the channeling goes into that later, right? So what it says is you, meaning me, have gotten into the habit of mentioning these controversial topics out of rebellion. So the energy I was coming at it is rebellion. These topics must be openly and widely discussed, sure, but not from the energy of rebellion. I am testing you. I am where I am, and you have to deal with this. That kind of energy is not good for connection. You have been testing others with it and feeling the need to assert yourself from the desire, which is an unhealthy desire, to be recognized or to be seen for who you are. So it's not saying that the desire to be seen for who you are is unhealthy in and of itself, but the energy I was coming at it for that desire is what is unhealthy. You do not need a single person to validate who you are in order to be who you are. Right? So it's not wrong to feel like I want to be seen for who I am, but if that desire goes away from that Leonian energy and goes into this validation energy. So Leonian energy is personal joy. Yes, I want to be seen in my truth. There is personal joy to it, and that desire is a healthy desire. The unhealthy desire is when you want to be seen because you want to be validated as to who you are. And when I was coming at these topics from the energy of rebellion, what my oversoul was telling me is you are coming at it from this energy of validation. So moving forward, go about these topics when you feel fired up, when you feel excited and joyful about sharing these topics. Also, if it falls on deaf ears, you are wasting your valuable energy in persuading them rather than using that energy to educate those who are willing and open participants. So this goes a little bit at the free will. that when somebody is not open, what you're trying to tell them is going to fall on deaf ears. That's the wastage of your energy, and that's the wastage of their energy and disrespect for their free will. They are going to choose, and they have full right to choose wherever they want to go. So if they do not want to talk about this, they do not want to change their perspective at that time, persuasion is not the energy you come at it with. If you are fired up, excited, joyful, and if it is the other participant is open and willing, then only these conversations can take us somewhere. They can be connecting conversations. Moving forward in the channeling, don't talk to such unopen people. Move on. That is a level of misalignment that is not going to generate connection or connecting experiences. The longer such conversation goes, the more disconnecting that experience becomes. And remember, you are to make connecting decisions, not disconnecting ones. The remember part of it is referring back to another channeling that I have shared with my paid Patreon subscribers at a certain tier, where I share unlimited channelings with them for the month, not just one channeling a month like this. That's where there was this conversation that came forward, which was about, when we make the decisions, are we focusing on connecting or are we focusing on disconnecting? And not just with others, but with ourselves, with the nature, things like that, right? So connection and disconnection are more like general concepts than connecting with another human being, that limited form concept. So this channeling is referring to that channeling to say, remember, you want to choose connecting decisions. So in this case, when these topics fall on deaf ears or when they come from rebellion energy, then they are disconnecting experiences. You are to choose and to prioritize connection. When you leave a misaligned conversation, you are choosing connection by preventing further continuance of disconnection. Got it. Anything else? I asked further. Yes. Be open. Open in your stance, your energy, and your heart. Allow that energy to attract people to you. Let people come to you. You don't need to force connection or be looking for connection. Then if you find somebody who was attracted to your energy, but they are no longer aligned to hold that particular conversation you want, then hold a clear, meaning loving and firm boundary in the conversation. The stance, as well as in your energy, that you will not entertain this conversation, you will not entertain such misalignment. So what is this saying is, first of all, don't go looking for connection. But when you are holding a certain energy, somebody gets attracted to it, there is possibility that the conversation itself may turn into a direction that you don't want. At that time, hold the strong energy, loving and firm boundary energy, that I do not want this conversation to continue. From that, some people will be repelled, some will be curtailed, and some will adjust their path to alignment. It will then either end the conversation and the interaction, or it will continue to be an even more joyful exchange. Trust that. I love this part, by the way. I love this part, that simply by holding your energy, you can indicate. And we have studied body language and facial gestures enough, but all of that comes from energy, right? If you can hold a certain energy in your body, you can give out that vibe that I'm not interested in this conversation, so let's cut it short. So those who learn from it and still want to talk to you will continue that conversation, and it will become an even deeper, more joyful exchange. So the next question I asked in this channeling, because I still wanted more, I still hadn't felt complete. With my open throat center, an open throat center is a concept in human design, right? If you don't know anything about human design, now is not the topic to talk about it. But if you know human design, this advice is particularly valuable to you. But even if not, this is still useful to everybody. I feel like channeling everybody's communication energy in the room That's the characteristic of any open center in human design, that you amplify the energy around you. That looks like me just talking and expressing through my facial and body gestures to the level of exhaustion at times. How do I remain open to listening while also talking? Now, this wasn't just a question about listening skills. This was a very particular question about how do I embody that I also want to listen while being true to my open throat center. In openness of energy and attracting others, you have developed a certain picture in your mind. And that picture is of passivity right now. For example, you're standing with a smile in a corner of a room and seeing who comes to you. Passivity and openness are not the same things. Openness means flow. Flow means talk until it feels aligned, then cater to your self-care of the throat by quieting so you don't stretch it to the limits of misalignment and feel the exhaustion. It's a dance between joyful talking and self-care listening for an open throat center. You hold your aligned energy in both. When it feels complete, you move on to the next energy. When the talking feels complete, you can grab a bite to eat. You can excuse yourself to go to the restroom or get a sip or two of a drink to tune in where you are. If you're still aligned, go back and listen and talk. If you don't feel aligned, then slowly move towards alignment. Your natural energy, and this is specific to me, but the point here is we are talking about each individual's unique natural energy. Your natural energy includes laughter, exuberance, and inspiring others. So don't hold that back or don't act in a way where you are so exhausted, even before you become exuberant in the company of an aligned connection. So we don't have to hold back whatever our talking pattern is. Some people talk more, some people talk less. We don't have to hold back on that. We don't have to change that pattern. What it is saying is no matter what is your talking and listening pattern or participating and quieting pattern, you have to do a dance between the two. If you start going away from your natural pattern, it can feel like exhaustion. And instead, you want it to feel like a joyful dance. That when I am feeling complete with conversations, I'm going to go take a break, get something to eat. When I feel complete with that and well rested, then I'm going to come back and have a conversation, maybe with the same person or maybe with a different person, right? So it's that dance between joyful talking and self-care quieting. And I use the word listening here because that's what I was very focused on, that particular pattern in a conversation. But I think it's not just listening, it's talking and listening and participating and quieting, taking a step back from participating when we are at a party or like a networking event, something like that. By the way, the reason I don't go anymore to networking events is exactly this. There is no balance in those kind of energies. People don't want to have meaningful conversations. They simply want to give their business cards. And this was like last event I attended was maybe like 5, 6, 7 years ago. So I don't know if anything has changed now, but that's why I just don't go to the networking events, because I do not like pushing on other people whatever you want to talk about, right? I don't like that. Anyway, back to the channeling. This was my further question for further clarification. I'm going to practice this today and return with more questions if I have any. Last words before that. And this is where the channeling gets really good, right? Have fun. Fun is a contagious energy. In your human painful experience on the earth, fun is a gift. It's a respite, not just for you, but for others who are watching you. It's a comfort for all involved. It allows humans to forget their struggles, pain, pain of the collective, even if just for a brief moment. Give that gift to yourself and to others. I loved looking at fun as a gift we give to ourselves and to others. It is true, that is our experience, but I just didn't put it that succinctly in the words in my head, I think. The next one, it goes to appreciation. So we talked about value of fun. Now let's talk about value of appreciation. Same way, like fun, spread appreciation for food, for organization of such a big event, for people's attires, whatever you feel like. It's not to make you feel good or them feel good. It's not to boost their ego. It's not even to build a bridge for connection or a bridge for conversation. Genuine appreciation is the energy of acknowledging and celebrating what's good in the world, what's worth expanding. Contribute to such expansion by speaking it out loud and multiplying it in the company of others by starting or continuing a discussion around it. So genuine appreciation is basically us telling ourselves and to others that this is what I want expanded, right? It's not to build a bridge for conversation, and it's definitely not to boost somebody's ego, but it's really to say, oh, I really like this. I want more of this in the world. And that's the energy of genuine appreciation that it was my oversoul wants me to spread. And now all of us really, right? Don't be conscious of what you're wearing or how you look. And this is a segue that is getting into beauty. So we first looked at value of fun, then value of appreciation and value of beauty. Don't be conscious of what you're wearing or how you look. Just add beauty through what you choose to wear to boost your alignment today. When you choose through and for alignment, whatever you end up wearing will add beauty. Same goes for the food. Don't worry about what you're making if other people will like it. Add beauty through what you are cooking. Fun, appreciation, and beauty are important energies to add on your planet. Create that in the world and help others forget their struggles even for a bit. This is a connecting experience that will invite others who want to add to it, and they will join you. That's how you build connections at this party today. Now that you have heard it, let me give you a little what happened. Did I implement this at the party? I did. I actually ended up having wonderful conversations with several people at the party where we talked about systemic issues, but in a very meaningful, inspiring way. We figured out some ways to stay connected with each other in order to continue our conversations. We also, I also ended up enjoying what I wore rather than wondering, as earlier I was, is this too formal? Is this too informal? Is this too dressed up or not? I did not pay attention to any of that. I really enjoyed the process of getting ready for the party. Then when I showed up there, the food that we made, the food that others made, we really enjoyed all of that. And I'm glad that I did not feel like I'm having a chain of small talks with strangers. I felt like I'm developing connections. So this is a party that happens every year, and same people show up year after year as well, and some new people show up. But I felt like next time I will see these people, I am looking forward to seeing them. So it was really a connecting experience. And then since then, I have understood the value of fun, appreciation, and beauty at a different level. I think one of the reasons I had so much resistance for sharing this particular channeling as like the main highlight channeling of the month was I was underestimating the value of fun. I was underestimating the how energized a human being feels when they simply have a connecting experience with another human being. I know that. I know that from my experience. I intellectually knew that, but somewhere I was still underestimating because I was in this mindset that the world's problems aren't going to be solved simply by two people talking, having fun, and have enjoying that experience. But I think that is such a big part of number one, solving our problems, right? Conserving our energy to have the right conversations and with the right people with whom it feels like an exchange that fuels both of us, right? And then third part, just surviving in this world. How would we survive without these conversations? And I think in the month of February, I really have understood the value of having such conversations that go beyond the small talk. In fact, I'm thinking of creating some space for Bridgewalkers to have these kind of conversations. That's how fired up I am about this experience. So I hope you enjoyed this channeling. If you want to support this work, please go to Patreon and support my work. And if you want to receive more channeling per month, then join that particular tier in Patreon. I look forward to seeing you there. Bye.